Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Well, as you know, what an interesting 24 hours. For days and days and days, there wasn't a whole lot going on. And then all of a sudden, everything is going on. So let me go all the way to the beginning. Angel A was here first. Hello, Angel A. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Manello, Elaine Parker, Lucy Wynn, Panther, Black Queen, Connie Bowler, Lorna Williams, and Annie Bennett, Shirley Kearney, Clarita Forbes, Mary H., Dorothy Ross with the hugs, and Mama Jane is here, Lydia Washington. Okay, so I'm going to just scroll all the way to the very last. But welcome all the rest of you guys that just joined us. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Cookies and Cream. So, interesting day for real estate, right? So I'm going to miss all of these amazing comments, I know. But, all right, so the very last comment was from Connie Balmer. All right. Hope I didn't miss any super chats or super stickers. But anyway, thank you so much. Hey, Mo Shannon is here. Lady P is here. PP. That's what I forgot to do. Thank you for reminding me. Sister and Cece. Ingrid Sowers. Okay. All right. So here we go. Prince Harry takes the Colbert Questionert, and let me see. Harry mentions his favorite smell. That was one of the. Anyway, we're going to go through all 15 of them. Charles, Heartless, and Cruel, and a few other things. Okay, so let me get over here. I feel like I'm missing something really big. But hold on, let me open up another screen so I can see what you guys are looking at. As I like to do most days, let's see here. That way I can really make sure I don't miss anything. Let's see here. All right, there's a little echo. Let me turn the sound down on that one. Okay, so got the other screen up. Don't think I need to do anything else, so let's get on with it, shall we? And that, and that. And what say we just throw this in there for good measure? Okay. All right, so this is what everybody's talking about. Well, just one of the things. So we'll get to last night with Harry and Meghan, but let's go through this first. So that is Frogmore. It doesn't look so bad from this angle. We're used to seeing the other side of the house, where it just looks like a collection of boxes, but I can see it has, I imagine that's a driveway with some boulders to keep your car in the lane and everything. It has some of those old, very, I guess you would say, not necessarily Victorian chimneys, but I think kind of like, almost medieval. No, anyway, very cool. I mean, that's a nice feature of the house. Basic black roof and white trim. Not bad looking now that I look at it from this angle. It doesn't have a lot of uniformity, but what else is new? I mean, after all, it was servant quarters. Anytime you hear the term cottage with the royal family, it doesn't matter what size the property, although this is a larger one, although it's been added to several times. At one time, actually before the Sussexes moved in, it was actually 5 individual apartments. And now it has been repurposed into a single family home. Um, Actually, for aside from Nottingham Cottage, this is probably one of the smaller places that any senior royal has ever lived in. Um, Not bad though, not bad. But when you consider that it was supposed to be a gift for the Sussexes, and then somehow that gift was the source of a great deal of criticism for the Sussexes, repeated bashing and criticism over and over again, just for the sake of it. And so this was like the last straw. This is probably what led to the Sussexes leaving. But there was so much more, and I don't even want to pretend like the so much more wasn't just as responsible. But um, the press made a mockery of the Frogmore Cottage. Now, there's a Frogmore House, there's a Royal Cottage, there's Adelaide Cottage. All of these places, and you know what? I forgot the map for this, but all of these places are actually located in Great Windsor Park. So it's, well protected by the Royal Protection Officers. Um, it's part of the Crown Estate. So you have all the bells and whistles, everything that any member of the royal family, and of course, let's not forget the grace and favor. So this is actually more like a grace and favor property. Well, pretty much anything that the sovereign um, gives to a staff person or other members of the family would be considered a grace and favor, unless it is deeded to a member of the royal family. But very few properties actually belong to the family. Sandringham, Balmoral, I mean, even Buckingham Palace, in theory, does not belong to the royal family. It's part of the Crown Estate. So, you know, that goes back and forth, but, there's a few properties that for sure is property of the sovereign. They're personal property, and then the Crown Estate properties are not. And so the sovereign decides who may or may not live in those properties. Like, for instance, Kensington Palace belongs to the Crown Estate, and the sovereign decides who lives there. Now, some people say it's the most posh council housing that you'll ever see, or as we say here in the United States, housing projects. But posh meaning that it is very elaborate, well protected, and very private, even though it's in the middle of London, very private, all things considered, because once you are inside, you are supposed to be safe and well protected, and the public can't just walk in and walk up to the windows or whatever. So um, that is all part of that Crown Estate. So it was deeded to the Sussexes, but they never really owned it. It was allocated. They asked for funding from the Crown to repair this dilapidated property. No one was living there, and so they already had money set aside to repair it. But then somehow the Sussexes seemed to be in debt for this place. Part of them negotiating the Sussexes leaving, they wanted the Sussexes to repay the Crown Estate for fixing a property that was already supposed to be fixed. I mean, Buckingham Palace, what are they spending? £300 million to repair that almost 1,000-room palace? Those repairs were coming up anyway. But for some bizarre reason, the Sussexes paid back $3 million for a property that they don't own. I will give myself a headache trying to sort this out. I still don't know how that's a thing, but it is a thing. The Sussexes did pay back the money as soon as the check cleared from their various contracts. They paid the money back to the Crown Estate. And if you guys recall, the Crown Estate was actually losing money because of the pandemic. And Windsor Estate, which this is part of the Windsor Estate, was actually taken from the red and put back in the black because they had this surplus of money from the check that Harry gave them. Now, remember, they were supposed to pay back for the house over a 12-year period. But the Sussexes decided we don't want that over our heads. We're just going to pay it now. How about that? We got plenty of money. We're flush with cash. Here, take your money, pimp. So they paid back the money, and still there is this constant beef about this servants' quarters. Harry, as an adult, has never lived in anything but Clarence House, Highgrove, with his father and, you know, that other person, and of course, servant quarters, like at Kensington Palace, Nottingham Cottage. Before that, he lived in some basement or garden level flat that was beneath other people. That if other people working for the family was living better than him. And then, as a family man and as a royal, as a senior working royal, dare I remind you, the most popular, somehow he finds himself here at this servants' quarters. They could have gave them Adelaide Cottage. I don't even think anybody was living there at the time. And as for even if there was someone living there, do you guys know that the Queen evicted a family so that the Cambridges could move into Admiral Hall? There was a family leasing that place from the Crown Estate already, and they were evicted to make room for the Cambridges. And that was supposed to be their forever home. Although they spent millions of dollars renovating the place and preparing it to their probably pretty tasteless standards, they're not paying any of that money back. They're not obliged to pay anything back. But as I always say, I don't know what it is about people of color and black people in particular. Anytime it's got something to do with black people, all of a sudden everything changes. The whole trajectory just takes on a whole nother course anytime you throw somebody black into the mix. Suddenly things get weird, just like with this house that was given to the Sussexes, but not really given to them, that was leased to the Sussexes. Obviously, that lease has been broken. Um, okay, let me scroll down a bit. I'm going to take a look at a couple of your comments, and then I'm going to add some more things. Oh boy, hello, sister and Cece. Let me see here. Deirdre Monkey says, Baron, I wonder if Andrew will pay Harry and Meghan back for the cottage renovation. I wonder if Andrew's actually moving into the cottage. Why? All of this seems to say to me, I'm hearing a voice say, are they making room for Camilla's kids someplace else? Like perhaps at the Royal Lodge? Is that what this is about? Move Camilla's kids to the Royal Lodge where they'll be better protected and they can live in a posher, more elegant style. Oh, Camilla's kids. That's a question mark right there, isn't it? Camilla and whoever else's kids those are they being moved to a more loftier property? And then, of course, then will Andrew, the sick old man, will he be actually forced to move into the Frogmore? Good question, isn't it? I have no idea. I don't know what to make of all of this. But there is something that we are certain of, and I'll get to that very soon. Thank you so much. Mystic Toxin, hello. Let me see. Miriam P says, Baron, you can copy whatever you want, read into a Word document, then the word go to review, read aloud. Huh, okay. Not sure what that means, but thank you. All right. All right, and is it Devira? Bowen says a gift they had to give back after they spent a fortune on the dang place, um, then to be regifted again, the nerves. Exactly. They spent a lot of money on this place. And let us not forget the other costs, the constant months and months and months of badgering and accusations from the tabloid press. How many times did we hear Dan Wooten say, "But if they're living off the public money, this is our..." Yeah, they went on and on and on about this idea that they were getting over. And then, of course, how about Doria's moving in? Doria's moving in. And I swear that's the same thing they did with the Obama's grandma, the Obama kid's grandma. All of a sudden, they were trying to make it seem like this old black lady is moving into the White House so she could take advantage of everything and order everybody around. That is the exact same thing that happened with Doria. All they were obsessing over was a yoga studio, a carpet bathtub. Doria's moving in. Doria's going to have a whole wing of the house, as if it's that much house in the first place, as though Doria doesn't have a life back in the United States. Oh. Make it make sense. And by the way, thank you so much for the PayPal. And let me see here. I'll just say the initial D. Thank you so much for the PayPal. Greatly appreciated. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Oh boy. Leg says this is just a red herring to distract from tampon diving into politics. I am guessing they didn't review their lease, so the fam doesn't leak, right? Um, as for the lease, I don't know what is in the lease. I don't know. I mean, is there some type of stipulation? Is there some type of exception where they can break the lease? Um, is it because the lease was in the Queen's name and then all of a sudden Charles has the right to renege on the agreement if he chooses to, now that he's the sovereign? But I tell you what, all I can tell you about this is um, thank goodness, thank goodness, a William is not the sovereign. Could you imagine if the Sussexes were under his thumb for any length of time, with all of his pettiness and cruelty that he's capable of? Could you imagine if they were subject to him for any period of time whilst in Narnia? By the way, thank you for 8 months membership, Annie Bennett. And thank you, PP, for 10 months membership. Wow, 8 and 10 months. That's amazing. Thank you very much. And thank you, Elaine Parker, for the super sticker. And Legs, thank you for the super chat. And Legs, I agree with you. This is some terrible distraction to divert our attention. Now, I heard someone say earlier that, was it Petal that said that? That it may have to do with them casting a movie about Savile. Ooh, I wonder if that's what the big distraction is. My goodness, that would be something. Okay, Lorna Castellano, thank you so much. Happy Wednesday, Baron. Appreciate you. Well, thank you. Is it Wednesday? My goodness, this week has been going fast. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you being here, and thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex, and happy Wednesday to you, and for reminding me that the week is slipping past fast. Oh boy. Let's see. Sister, and oh, you're saying hi to a few people. I can help with that. Kathy G says, I would take every fixture, every appliance that was paid for with Meghan and Harry's money. MFs can start from scratch, but that's just me. I understand. And you listen, you're supposed to take like an orange or a tangerine and you just go to every restroom. Well, not an orange, but you go get that little net bag of citrus and you just start throwing them in the toilets and flushing them. Then, of course, if it's freezing out, oh, wait, let me stop. I don't want you guys to get to know me like that. Ah, okay, I'm going to stop before I tell you guys what to do with your socks. Just forget I said that. I'm not that person. I repeat, I'm not that person. Um, but there is collateral damage for evictions where I come from. But I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Okay, okay. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. Let me see. Charles need to reimburse Harry his money that was spent on the interior of Frogmore Cottage. Yeah, because they put some nice things in there. I could imagine. From what we've seen so far, it looks pretty. A nice, open, airy, bright, well lit home. But yeah, I say reimburse their money since they're not allowed. And what about their protection? What about their protection whilst visiting the UK? What about their protection? How are they supposed to be safe on a royal property? What is this? Some kind of way to try to convince them to stay with? Oh no, they wouldn't do that. I was about to say stay with Charles and Camilla, but that's not going to happen. But I don't get what the expectation is here. They have so much property. They have so much property, so many places. The Cambridges are not going to be staying at the Kensington Palace anymore unless somebody's staying there away from the other parent. Anmer Hall, Kensington Palace, Adelaide Cottage. They have a place up in Scotland. And then there's Windsor Castle. Who's staying there? There are apartments at Windsor Castle. This is so unnecessary. It really is. I guess it's like anything else. The point is the cruelty. It's just like Donald Trump. The point is cruelty. Cruelty is the point. Well, Mystic Toxin says, I wonder if the Sussexes have bought a home somewhere else in the UK for when they are there. Now, that's a good question. That's a good question. They may have actually set aside a property somewhere. They had a place in the Cotswolds, but of course, the press, even though this house was in the center of another property, and you would actually have to trespass to get to it, their location was made known, and the floor plans and everything was shared. And so they eventually left that. Now they were staying there while they were still staying at Nottingham Cottage. That was their retreat, their getaway. And somehow that information was leaked. And so they weren't able to stay there anymore. So there's been somebody on their tails. Somebody has been like nipping away like a rapid Rottweiler, telling everybody every move that they make. So if they do have another place, it won't be long before it's leaked to the press if anybody in the family knows about it. And especially if, for whatever reason, they do receive royal protection, in the future, then you know everybody's going to know that location. But this is sickening. It is absolutely sickening. Here we have Peter Hunt says much of the UK media will portray this eviction as a righteous act by a strong king. It's anything but. Instead of building bridges, the head of state is torching them. The banishment of his son is cruel, unnecessary, and diminishes Charles. I couldn't have put it better. I could not have put it better. Um, I follow Peter Hunt, and he says some pretty brilliant things. Lex says maybe they will stay in the with the Spencers. You know, I've thought about that, but the brother is so you know, Diana's brother. He's so quirky and wacky sometimes. You know, he's so sometimes I wouldn't know what to expect from him. But of course, the Diana does have the sisters. Is it are both sisters still alive? I think so. So Diana has the sisters that, yeah, they are still alive. They have sisters. I don't know, you know, what kind of accommodations they have, but as you guys know, the eldest son inherit everything from the estate. And so when it comes to the Spencer estate or the, you know, Spencer house, all of that goes to the eldest son. And I don't even know if they have properties on the estate, the sisters. I don't even know if they live on the estate, but there are other properties on the estate belonging to the Spencers. But knowing Charles Spencer, he wouldn't want that type of, you know, situation, which is the reason why he refused to allow Diana to stay there unless he like grows a conscience overnight or something. They seem to have a relationship with Diana's sisters. However, I am guessing they have somewhere else they would stay. Yeah, but I think the whole message, Legs, is not to show up in the first place. This may be like another way of saying you're not welcome here. Cheryl says, Baron, Harry and Meghan do not need anything from the ungodly family. Harry and Meghan needs to make a complete clean break, leave it all there, house things and titles. Things can be replaced. Yeah, the house and the titles and all the rest of those things, but there is well, child. There is the Invictus community, and I'm not sure how much of the Invictus operation is located there, if any. You know, where is the home of the Invictus? Is it in Montecito? Where exactly is it? Is it in someplace else in Europe? That I'm not aware of. I don't know if I've ever known exactly where the home offices of the Invictus games are located. So that may be a reason to, sorry about that. That may be a reason to actually, you know, go to go back to the UK. It's kind of hard to say. Thank you for your comment. Let me see here. Let me go one more here. So there is another angle of Frogmore. This is the photo that we're used to seeing. Not much to look at on this side. As a matter of fact, it looks pretty rotten. And so I was quietly relieved when I saw this angle of it. It actually looks more like a home instead of this one, which does look like a collection of modest buildings all strung together to make you know, servants' quarters. But that's what it is. A cottage in the royal circles is a servant's quarters. Now, for the rich in the U.S., to say you have a cottage here or a cottage there, that doesn't mean for, you know, the help. But usually for the aristocrats or whatever, it usually means something desperately small, but mostly it means a place where the servants or some other tenants would stay. But if it's a house, a hall, a palace, or a castle, it's usually reserved for um, someone else. And usually a palace, I think the only Blenheim Palace is the only royal property that is not owned. Actually, the only palace that is not a royal property. Usually, if it says palace, that means it belongs to the sovereign and the immediate family. So That's one of the things I think is accurate. Let me see. Anastasia says, I am thinking the queen saw it coming, which is why she holds on as long, well, held on as long as she could or should. Yeah. Um, that's the possibility. That's the possibility. The queen may have actually had enough foresight to know that where the Cambridges, the Sussexes, and the Yorks, and just about everybody else is concerned, that Charles and his pettiness would probably undo, or at least try to undo, some things that were well thought out and put together. So that is a possibility. Mystic Toxin says, I understand the security issue, but this all makes me think they didn't renew their lease and they have another home for specific reasons, like what is that Chancellor thing? And what else I'm not aware of. Um, well, okay. Okay, let's see if we find out that they did not renew their lease. I don't know if they gave any details. There's a statement from the Sussexes. Let's see here. But anyway, this is, before I get to that, this is one of those things that they speculate about the reason for the eviction is that they're going to make a movie about one of Charles's friends, right? Oh, and let us not forget, in terms of people that are closely connected to Charles, let's consider Michael Forsythe may need a place to stay. I don't know what Michael Forsythe's situation is, but whoever stays here is going to have to be a person or persons that the Cambridges will tolerate. I doubt if Charles is going to move anybody in there that the Cambridges object to. And maybe another point of getting rid of the Sussexes from this house, maybe the Cambridges do not want Beatrice or Eugenie to stay there either, right? Was it Beatrice or no Eugenie, right? Maybe Eugenie was the reason why they needed to get them out of there, because I don't know if Eugenie was just using the house on occasion. I know they lived there for a while. Or is it Beatrice? I always confuse the two of them. But one of the sisters was staying there with the family, the one married to the bartender. So maybe that's one of the reasons why they had to go, is so that they can make sure, that they have better control over who comes and goes from the property and who is or is not welcome at that property. Maybe that's the whole point of it. I don't know. Interesting, though. Very interesting. Okay. I hope I didn't miss any super chats. I want to just scroll back through. Lex, did I miss this one? Can Megan get her wedding dress back and have it donated to the Smithsonian at the African American Museum in DC? She paid for it. Huh. I like that one. I mean, yes, whose property is Megan's wedding dress? If she paid for it, and I do believe she did have to pay for it. So if that is the case, then she ought to have her dress back, and it should go on display, if possible, someplace here. PP, thank you for that super sticker. I hope I didn't miss that one. Thank you very much, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Okay, Lane Parker, I got you. All right, I'm going to scroll back in the other direction. Wow, the comments are coming fast. I feel like Lucy and Ethel at the chocolate factory. The comments are coming fast. There's only so many chocolates I can eat. Okay, Lydia, did I just see a super chat from you? I think maybe I saw it on the other screen. Good Lord, there's a lot of comments. Okay, Lydia says, Baron, Charles is a Scorpio. I know Scorpios. This is his payback for the book. They were asked to move based on the statement. The book came out on the 10th, right? The book came out on the 10th of January. It is now March the 1st. I think that's a possibility, but I'm just not sure that makes sense, if you know what I mean. Um, it is the kind of malicious thing that Charles would do. And maybe this is just a starter. This may be a starting attack on the Sussexes. Maybe they wanted to do a rollout where there will be this ongoing thunderstorm of attacks. And think about this too. It will ensure that people are going to pay attention to the coronation. People are going to look for a lot of heat at that coronation, especially if the Sussexes actually go, which I am really doubting at this point after this eviction. And maybe that was the point of the eviction. I mean, it's what, a 9-week countdown until the coronation? Maybe that's the whole point, is to make sure that they don't show up. Huh. But yeah, Lydia, those Scorpios are some of the nasty, some of the most vile individuals that have ever drawn a breath. And I am embarrassed to be associated with them. I am embarrassed of those Scorpios. It's not a matter of if they'll get even. It's always a matter of when are they going to get even. Oh boy, I tell you, them Scorpios. I mean, the only reason why they're here is because someone got a chill last February, and then next thing you know, 9 months later, here come those Scorpios with all their nasty, vicious nature, all that brooding and hostile murmuring under their breath. How do you take them? However, those Scorpios can be some of the most loving, loyal people that you should never cross. Oh boy. Anna Espinoza says Rottweiler must have something really deep. She is going to blackmail him. I feel something is coming. Well, I mean, he's dancing to her music. I couldn't imagine what. Black Queen says, I blame Betty. If she had showered this monster with love and attention, she wouldn't have turned. She wouldn't have turned out like this. Black Queen, are you doing like me? Are you changing the genders? Because someone told me a long time ago, they said I could tell when you through with somebody because anytime you change their gender, you done with them. Oh my God, that was so funny. Like, oh my God, you didn't change the gender. I know you through with them. Okay. Let's see. Mama Bub, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Wednesday. And Jean Gao, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Wednesday to you too. All right. Okay. Let me see here. Charles is playing the UK crowd by being nasty to Meghan and Harry. He gets more popular with the British people. Myra V. That does work with the royalists, with those deep royalists. That is definitely effective. And also, it can kind of take the attention away from this whole Brexit thing. I hear tell that people are starting to admit that Brexit was a failure. Some of the key people who helped orchestrate it, should I say. Charles says, yes, Scorpios will torch you sitting. I'm sorry, will torch you, sting you if you cross their path and get them angry. I have an aunt who shares the exact behavior like Woo! Oh man, I have no comments. Let's see. The Wellses were never going to live in the four-bedroom cottage, no matter how posh. They are moving into Royal Lodge after Andrew leaves, as Charles doesn't want them in the castle. Vinny Blair. Now that makes so much sense. I can't even say the words. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for sharing that. Uh, is that her name now? This is something that the mistress did. Uh, but not to worry. I am sure that Harry and Meghan won't miss that hut. I am sure that their garage is bigger than that. Yeah, they probably have a garage that is comparable to the size of this house. I am sure of that. Okay, let me go to the next slide. All right, so King Charles evicts Harry and Meghan from Frogmore Cottage and offers home to Prince Andrew. Dr. Shola says King Charles evicted Harry and Meghan from Frogmore Cottage is pure spite because of spare, a weak coward of a father, cruelty unworthy of a king. Like the royal family, don't have other properties to house the disreputable Prince Andrew. A very unwise move that'll backfire. Come on, Shola. Come on, Shola. This is why I love Dr. Shola. Dr. Shola is always ready, like right here, in solidarity with all those declining to perform at the coronation 2023. I won't be performing my biggest Afro hit at King Charles' coronation either. What won't you be doing for coronation? Images, please, she asked for on her Twitter. Which, by the way, I still think she looks amazing with the coarser hair. All right. And then it says the Sussex's cheerleader, Omen Scobie, says Frogmore Cottage was Harry and Meghan's one remaining space in UK that meets their family security needs. As couple breaks their silence on their eviction, the royal author urges Frogmore is the Sussex's only safe refuge. A source close to the pair said their eviction by Charles was cruel and final. The couple confirmed in a statement today they had been requested to leave. So there is an official statement that says that the Sussexes are told to scat, told to get out. Here you can see, barred from access to police security, they're just one space that meets the Sussex's security needs when visiting the UK. Frogmore Cottage soon, that will no longer be an option. The inside story of King Charles' cruel eviction of Harry and Meghan. So, Omen Scobie wrote about it in the Yahoo. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but if you guys want to check it out, I will hopefully have the link for you guys later. But yeah, Omen Scobie actually wrote a column about that. Says a spokesperson for Harry and Meghan, we can confirm the Duke and Duchess of Sussex has been requested to vacate their residence at Frogmore. So obviously it's true. If their official spokesperson has come forth to drop that information, then all things being considered, I guess that's it. No more Frogmore. I think that this may just be the start of Charles lashing out at the Sussexes. I think he's going to probably do more on the way to the coronation. He needs to do this in order to distract from the fact that this £100 million plus coronation is happening during a period of austerity, as well as rationing of fruits and vegetables from the supermarkets. Also, another reason why he probably would take advantage of this type of thing is because he has a new gold carriage on the way. They are reworking the coronation chair. Also, there is new thrones aside from the coronation chair. There are two new thrones. All the thrones that are here, there, and everywhere, they're going to actually make some new thrones. And of course, all of these things will bear his cipher in one way or the other. It will have his likeness or his taste attributed to the design in one way or the other. So I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that it's not just a matter of having something else, but I think he wants something that he can earmark, and he got a lot of ear as something of his own. So that is probably the reason why they are going to go through all the trouble of rebuilding, actually not rebuilding, but creating new thrones and a new state carriage. So or is it a coronation carriage? But yeah, either way, I mean, they have plenty of carriages, but they're going to do it anyway. So nothing's going to stop this train. Charles is onward and upward with his coronation, and I think this is just the start of his attacks on the Sussexes. Okay, I don't say this often, but please make sure you are subscribed to Royal Sussex. Do consider a membership. If you do the membership on the YouTube, it's just $4.99. If you want to do more, you can go to the Patreon. However, the Patreon does not give you access to those very cool stickers that people use on the YouTube source. So also for you guys that are on the Patreon, thank you so much for your contributions. Do be aware, I practically never touch the Patreon, although I do remove the contributions from the Patreon. And I keep hearing, and I keep saying this, nobody ever answer. What is the gift that you guys get from Patreon? Because I haven't seen it. Patreon is so over me not bothering with Patreon that they have generated gifts that they give to the loyal Patreon followers, and I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it is. So I keep saying that, and I'm hoping somebody will tell me, but nobody will tell me what is the gift that they get from Patreon. So if y'all don't want me to know, fine. But I'm just asking for a friend. Okay, let's move on to Stephen Colbert and leave the cottage behind for a moment. And we'll talk about last night, which was so much fun. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So tonight, late show, Stephen Colbert. Well, that was last night, of course. Stephen Colbert, he he doesn't seem to like the royal family that much. As a matter of fact, he doesn't like them at all. And the photo on the right was something that was created by the Stephen Colbert show. I think that the Queen Consort or cohort and Lord Baltimore, Prince William, are holding kazoos. I think those are kazoos. It looks like they're blowing a kazoo. Anyway, that is what the lineup was yesterday. And right here, you can see the Colbert Colbert, that is, Questionert. Or is it Colbert Questioner? Oh, Colbert Questionnaire. Instead of nert, it's nair, like Colbert. I get it. I just got that. So it's the Colbert Questionnaire, But instead of spelling it like questionnaire, they spelled it questionert. Oh man, I love when I figure stuff out like that. And just think, it only took me a couple of years to get that. Beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Baron and Squatties, the signs are all there. Harry and Meghan should not go to the coronation. Agreed. Agreed. I think this, for me, is the last straw. This act of, I guess, hostility is the best way to put it. This act of hostility should not go unnoticed by the Sussexes, and they just should not go. Elaine Babb says, I am confused about the membership is $4.99 a week. No, it's $4.99 a month. It's a monthly membership, $4.99 a month. If you want to contribute more, you can, but I believe it's just a monthly charge for $4.99. But yeah, that's it. $4.99. Some other channels have different layers and levels of contributions, but I have never changed it. I just left it at $4.99. So if you want to do more, you can. If you want to leave it at $4.99, you could also do that. But yeah, it's a monthly charge. Okay. Let's see. Sonia Johnson says, next Charles will remove the Duke and Duchess's titles from the Harry and Meghan, and they carry rats behind. Harry should completely cut ties with that part. Well, if I understand things right, they would have to do that in as an act of parliament. They would have to discuss it in the parliament, and then they would have to, do it that way. I don't think that they don't, this is a thing, Sonia Johnson. It sounds like it's just a thing that you can do as easily as, or you can undo as easily as you can give them out. You can take them back, but it doesn't work that way, because if that's the case, any capricious behavior from a monarch could lead to scores of people losing their titles. And those titles are so intertwined with the families that have them that they don't make it that easy to take them away. And so I think it makes a lot of sense for something like that, because if you're going to take away the title, what are you going to take next? The land that that family has owned since William the Conqueror? So there's got to be some type of limitations under the law to something like that. But with this Tory government, or any government for that matter, if it comes down to this idea that they need to cut corners, then I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't hesitate to go after the Sussexes. And then, of course, you'd have to also take the title away from the Duke of York. And I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of other people who would deserve to lose their titles. So that, I'm afraid, is a sticky wicket. And if they do go down that course, they may be shooting themselves in the foot by messing with the Sussex's title. Now, from what I hear, the title was offered to them at the time in Sandringham, and they chose not to do that for whatever reason. And maybe it was to just have this drawn out drama. But either way, you could take away those titles, but Prince Harry is always going to be Prince Harry. And then after that, there's going to be a Princess Meghan. And even if people don't call her Princess Henry of Wales, then they'll probably just say princess. They'll just call her princess. It'll be like she's getting a promotion. So I'm not sure how that would work out. But either way, the titles don't mean anything in the U.S. And this idea that they are trying to monetize those titles never made sense, because they are famous. And if there's anything we've learned about modern times, is that being famous for the sake of being famous, or being famous because you've actually earned it or done something extraordinary, people don't like you any more or any less. And trust me when I say this, the royals are just as excited to meet someone famous as some famous people are to be in their company. It is a two-way street. The royals love to be photographed with this person and that person. And when it came down to it, and we had to try to figure out what did Elizabeth do for 70 years on the throne, it really came down to this. She's been there for X amount of US presidents. She was a mechanic during the war. No mention of like the Mau Mau uprising or anything like that. Let's see. And well, it gets pretty shallow at that point. You see what I'm saying? But she's been photographed more than most people ever would in 100 or 1,000 years. And she has what else? She's been on the money. You see what I mean? There's not a lot to add to that. And aside from knowing all these famous people and having met all these famous people, I don't know what else there is. So, hope that was helpful. Thank you so much, Sonia Johnson, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Lydia Washington says, waiting on them to ask for the waffle. They want little Archie's waffle iron back. Yes, yes, they want that. They probably got like a low jack or something on that waffle iron. They put an air tag in Archie's waffle iron, so they'll know where that waffle iron is at all time. I bet you right now, little Archie's waffle iron is beeping because they got an air tag stuck in there somewhere. Oh man, that was a good one, Lydia. They're gonna disable Archie's waffle iron. Yep, after the queen went through so much trouble to send that little child that waffle iron, and now they're gonna want it back. Oh well. Uh, well, I tell you what, if you're gonna send it back, um, I, I'm just saying, I grew up kind of rough. The best way to return a waffle iron is through a plate glass window. Uh, you put a little note on it. Thanks for nothing. Go to hell, and then through a plate glass window. That's the best way to return it. Or just go to the. Isn't there a consulate in Los Angeles? Isn't there a British consulate there? See if the consulate general has a plate glass window, and I'll return it. Okay. Oh boy, Lydia, you know how to bring the ghetto out of me. But thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for being a member and watching Royal Sussex. But yeah, that's how you do it. You put a little note on there and just throw it through the window. Okay, so here we are, the Colbert Questionnaire. Um, so these are some of the questions. Best sandwich. Now, Harry said, now you can see the caption below. It says, it got me and my, well, it should be, it got me and my wife into a little trouble. But the caption messed up, I believe. But yeah. So if you guys remember when in Harry's book, Spare, the number one nonfiction book, Spare, Harry mentioned that he thought that Meghan was having a go at him. And because of the, various words in American English and the British English that don't seem to line up properly, they had a bit of a falling out. And Harry said something very snarky, and Meghan made a bit of a retreat. And that was just probably one of, maybe a few times that they had a misunderstanding, but that one got pretty serious. And so that is what he meant by it got me and my wife into a little trouble. So that was interesting that he mentioned that. And then, of course, These are not in order, by the way. Most used app on your phone. And he, of course, he said Better Up. Stephen Colbert didn't know what Better Up was. And so he explained that to Stephen Colbert, and that it was a for, what did he say, for mental health or for his, oh gosh, he called it coaching, mental health coaching, something like that, he said. But yeah, so nice little plug for Better Up, I think. And then, what is the scariest animal? And of course, he said a snake. A snake is the scariest animal. And of course, snakes do tend to mate. So where you have one snake, there's usually a pair of snakes hissing and sniffing, and if they detect any body heat unlike their own, if they detect any body heat, they're liable to slither up to you and try to squeeze you or inject their toxins into you. As a matter of fact, those snakes usually thrive in a snake pit. If you find one snake, you'll find that someplace there's a whole pit of snakes, a whole pit of them slithering and rubbing their scales, and some of them have little rattles and stuff in their tails and stuff like that. So yeah, if you find one snake, you'll find a whole bunch of them. You'll find that they mate, right? And then you'll also find that there is a nest full of snakes. So yeah, that's probably something that one should be afraid of is snakes. Snakes, silky chickens, all that stuff. Yeah, those silky chickens, they carry diseases. Let me see here. Oh, is it because the apology? Well, I think Charles was going to act at a time and a place when he could take advantage of it. And maybe this will cover something that we don't even know about. Maybe this was an exchange for something to do with the tabloid media. Uh, oh, really? Yeah, you know what? I think it's it has to do with the value of the currency. I would imagine that's what it is. Yeah, I bet it's because of the value of the currency. Let me see here. Harry already told them to take the titles during the ambush at Sandringham Summit. Beautiful day, exactly. That's what he offered, and for some reason they did not want to take them. Let's see. Alicia says Harry living in a $17 million home. They think Harry and Meghan bothered by the Sussexes, that the Sussexes should tell them to keep everything. They don't need them. That's what they're forgetting. Yeah, I mean they have their life is in California now. They have money. They have property. They're okay. They're doing okay. As a matter of fact, they're doing extraordinarily well considering everything that has been thrown at them, and yet they're still thriving. So, okay, you get one song to listen to for the rest of your life. What is it? I don't remember the name of the song, but I do recall that he said to Stephen Colbert, "You need more love in your life." And Stephen Colbert said, "I've got plenty love," something like that. And Harry was like, "You seem angry." And I love when Harry said, he said, Stephen Colbert says something about his wife, and Harry's like, yes, I have plans for dinner with your wife. So obviously, the Duke of Sussex and the Colberts had dinner scheduled. And as we found out, Stephen Colbert does not like the royal family. And he even said so when, what's his name? Jean-Luc Picard was on his show, the Star Trek guy. He even said it then, and he was not kidding. And Stephen Colbert his tone changes when there's mention of the royal family. He has no use for them, and he doesn't care who knows it, even Prince Harry. That's just something where they differ. Stephen Colbert said, "Yeah, your family took all of the property from my family." So that little part right there, even though there was, a lot of humor going on, you could tell Stephen Colbert was not. He's not going to back down on that one. And same with, John Oliver has no use for that institution. It's interesting that the people who have no use for that institution, they have quite an interesting way of, you know, making their feelings known in a very clear manner, so a manner that is, so that there are no mistakes about what they're thinking or feeling about the institution and the idea of what do you call it? Yeah, that's true. Lydia, Duchess is a higher status, but the thing is, as they're calling Kate Princess Kate, to have a Princess Megan, I think for most Americans, we would assume that being a princess is of a higher status. I mean, I know it's not exactly the way it goes, but I think to most people's ears, you would think that being a princess makes more sense than being a duchess. So, and of course, they don't want Megan to ever be on an equal footing with Mumbles. The optics of that would drive them crazy, I'm afraid. So, but yeah, you're right. The Duchess title is of a higher rank than just being a royal princess. But if they do that, then people are. I mean, come on, this is the U.S. Princess Diana, Princess Megan. You know what I mean? It just sounds different. It has a different ring in the ear, I should say. Thank you so much for your comment. Let me see here. All right, so the one thing you own that you should have really thrown out, and of course, Harry said he got some boxers. Now, I am going to um have to relate to that because I have this T-shirt that is threadbare, and I've had to sew it a couple of times, but it's so threadbare that it's just enough to take the chill off, but yet you're not. It's just perfect. It's perfect, and I even bought a nearly identical T-shirt, and I still won't throw it away. I can't throw it away. I want it. Okay, I want it. The print on it has come off, but that's my T-shirt, and I insist on keeping it. So I sympathize with Harry about his boxers that he's hanging on to. And of course, Stephen Colbert said, "Oh, a lot of good memories, huh?" Oh, man. So fortunately, they didn't go any further with that one. And of course, remember, all of this is was recorded long before, long before the that thing that I have yet to talk about with the pub. I haven't talked about it. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't care for it. So it was before that. So let me see here. Uh, Antoinette Kennedy says, Baron, pull out the well and trust. Let me see. Because if they keep lying, there is 400 plus additional pages, which is true. There is another 400 pages, and maybe they have an idea of what's left in those 400 pages. Maybe this eviction is a preemptive attack. A preemptive attack. Let me see. Yes, thank you so much, Antoinette. Diamond Blue 24 says, I agree. The second book is going to sell out the first book, especially with all of the recent shenanigans. Yes, 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 yes. Harry has, well, let me put it to you like this. They, how many books do do the Obamas have between them? How many books? So, and they still have another book coming after that and after that. There's really no limit to how much you can get out of a person's life story. So, any chapter of that book could have been a story on its own. Very compelling situations. As a matter of fact, what about the miniseries? Who's going to play Prince Harry in the miniseries on what else? Netflix. Thank you so much. Let me see here. Oh, let me go to the next one here. Sorry about my squeaky chair. Uh, ugh. Okay. What do you think happens when you die? Harry said you come back, and he said when he comes back, he wants to be an elephant. Have you ever asked someone for their autograph? And he mentioned chasing around the rugby team while they were still naked, asking them for their autographs. And favorite action movie? He said Gladiator. Well, that makes sense. Let me see here. My Duke and I, Anita is here. Hello, Anita. I really, really enjoyed the videos from the Caribbean. They were beautiful. And that spot on top of the hill is spot on. I'm so happy for you. I am so, so happy for you. Let me see. Betty says Charles is a puppet on the string. Camilla is behind all this. Get Harry completely out of the way. Make way for Camilla's grandkids and the rest. Willie better watch out. Well, at this point, I mean, let's face it, Charles is not a young man, and with all of this devious stuff going on, he's taking his chances. I'll just say he's taking his chances. I mean, even though he has a very posh lifestyle, he's going through a lot right now, and there's no guarantee that he won't start having some type of episode or something. Who knows? Or maybe he'll just be fine. I don't know. I don't even care. I just want him to leave the Sussexes alone. Let me see. Favorite. Okay, we've done all those. Let's go to the next one here. So that instantly becomes a meme. Well, Stephen Colbert had said something about a horse and horse riding. And then Colbert said something about, well, you can ride it from underneath and just wrap your arms around. And Harry, if you guys watched it last night, he did some gesture. And Stephen Colbert was like, what was that again? And he said, oh, no, 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 no. That instantly becomes a meme. And even though that was funny, I thought about it. I was like, my God, the idea that every little gesture that you make publicly could possibly become a meme. But that is Harry's life, is that almost anything may become a meme. You may be memed over the slightest something, and it can become a meme. That's interesting. So, but yeah, such is Harry's life. Anything can become a meme. Anything you say, any gesture you make, and something may come of it. Wow. Okay. Let me see here. And then there's this one. So Stephen Colbert said, which do you like more, apples of oranges? And Harry points to his hair and goes, duh, oranges, of course. Well, that makes sense. I mean, his hair is kind of orange, so orange. Of course, Harry would prefer oranges. And then, of course, your favorite smell. Well, that was a that had everybody just kind of swooning, because he said, um, my wife. And so he got some big points for saying that his favorite smell is his wife. Very, very touching. I tell you, this guy doesn't miss a beat. How romantic. Très romantique, right? Is that how you say it in French? Très romantique. But yes, very romantic. And then, of course, least favorite smell. He pointed to Stephen Colbert. And of course, cats are dog. And he was like, dogs? He said, cats are too. You know what I mean? Cats are just, and then sometimes when people have cats, they just think everybody should like cats. You know what I mean? Is there any member of the royal family who may be a cat fancier and wants everybody to look at their cat? Can you guys think of anyone? Because I certainly can't. I'm fresh out of I, I'm fresh out of suggestions. But yeah, people think their cats are so cute and they don't care who sees it or where they see it. They just want to make sure that everybody knows they got a cat. Now that may become a meme, right? That could possibly become a meme. I mean, just sometimes even if the wind blows, every time the wind blows, it's there. A squirrel crosses the street, it's there. So yeah. So so okay. And then of course, was that it? Was there any other questions? Let me see. Hey, Mary Hiker. Well, I mean, I'm not saying they're bad. It's just, you know, but they say you're supposed to keep them in the house. I mean, when they're outside, they have been known to attack birds. I mean, because cats can be very predatory, and sometimes the migratory birds and everything else may suffer because people can't keep their cats in the house. So, how many times has someone opened the door and the cat walks in and the cat's like got a dead bird or a dead mouse or something like that? So it's not good for, the environment, the ecology that is, to let one's cat out like that. Kicking them out of Frogmore now is like getting a call from the job you quit 6 months ago that they decided to fire you. Yeah, right. Right. I mean, did you guys not realize I haven't been here? Right. You're not. Okay. Let me see here. Kim Coach says, I don't like cats because I can't have anyone living in my house with more attitude than me, right? Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so with that, let's go on to the next one here. Windows or aisles? So, of course, Harry being a soldier and also being a pilot, if someone says windows or aisles, well, because Harry likes to maintain control. Oh, by the way, YM Joy, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Um, so yeah, Harry said cockpit. Yeah, just like that. He said cockpit. And what a cool answer, because they're just to let you know that Harry, he likes to be in control of situations. So being the type of guy that he is, he prefers the cockpit, someplace where he can see what's coming, someplace where he can be in control of the situation. Because windows and aisles are for passengers, but Harry, being a born leader, he would rather be in the cockpit. So that makes sense. And I'm pretty sure that's the first time because Stephen Colbert asked these questions of everyone. And that's probably the first time that someone has decided to, be a leader, not a follower. Looks like I saw Charlotte. Did I see Charlotte? And as Charlotte loves to say, William is a imbecile. How do you say imbecile? Imbecile. William is an imbecile. That's exactly what he is, an imbecile. Okay. And then next, is this the last one? What number am I thinking of? Oh my God, this was so hilarious. If you guys are old enough to remember the old Abbott and Costello, who's on first? So he says, what number am I thinking of? And Harry goes, what? He said, what number am I thinking of? I don't know, one. And he's like, no, that's wrong. And Harry's like, well, what is the number? Do you ever tell anybody? Anyway, that was absolutely hilarious. They have such a good vibe and such good energy with each other. They play off of each other's humor. It was great. And a long time ago, when I saw Oprah like working with Harry, I had this notion, what if Oprah is like grooming him for his own talk show? And of course, everybody was like, oh, Baron, that's not going to happen. Well, anything can happen for Harry. And, talk shows come and go. And I don't know that Harry's talk show would do any better than anybody else's or do any worse, but it is people investing in your personality. People are investing on you, trading on your uh, image, and I'm more than certain that Harry would have a talk show that would definitely be one of a bit of lifestyle, but a whole lot of mental health and awareness. So I wouldn't rule it out. And of course, being neighbors with Oprah and being friends with Oprah, if there was ever a possibility of Harry like doing something like that, then it's not like he doesn't know people. And even like his own podcast, if Harry had a podcast more like a Joe Rogan that focused on mental health and mental well-being, there would be an audience for that, no doubt. And it wouldn't be like he'd have to be coerced into talking about himself all the time, but sharing his life experience is definitely something that's marketable and something that's possible. So it doesn't have to be a variety show. It doesn't have to be, high comedy and stuff like that. But Harry he oozes personality. He has just a good energy about himself. So let's do this. Let's do I'm gonna find that part with the number.
And
I'm reading this book going, get him, Harry. I don't mean that. I don't mean that at all. What number am I thinking of?
What?
What number am I thinking of?
One.
No.
Whoa, hang on a second. Are these the same questions you ask everybody else?
Everybody gets the same questions.
Has anyone ever got it right? Have you ever told anybody?
What?
Is there even a number you're thinking about?
Yes, there is a number I'm thinking of.
Is it between 1 and 10?
What? Why would I tell you? You got it wrong. If you got it right, I would be able to answer that question. That's one of the things that you win.
What do I win?
What?
What do I win?
You get to be known by people. What do we most want to be, Harry? Not alone. I read your book. We want to be known. Okay?
All right, fine.
You're welcome. Have you enjoyed?
Security. Can you guys come and get me out of here? This is.
He's got red hair.
Here,
He's next to the desk. He's got red hair, and he's next to the desk.
Okay, I love that. So Harry, if you guys by any chance didn't see it, once they did the thing with the what, Harry Harry kind of, as you can see in the photo in the upper left, Harry just kind of looks around like, "Phew, whatever." And so then he opens up his jacket as though he's talking to security, like a what do you call it? Like a Secret Service agent. He's like, "Security, can you come and get me?" And so Stephen Colbert decided to retort with, yes, he's right here. He has red hair and he's next to the desk. He has red hair. He's next to the desk. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. They seem to have a really, really good chemistry with each other. And I would not mind at all seeing them interact with each other in the future in whatever capacity. Very, very cool. They bring out the best of each other. Stephen Colbert is a rare talent by himself, and Harry is just he's just got a great personality about himself. So, Leg says, "Wait, are the Frogmore pics that the Sun used new?" I have not seen those. I have not seen those. Let me take a look right now. I have seen some photos. Let me see, the Daily Sun. And I will take a look myself. Let me see. The Daily Sun. Is this it? Oh my gosh. No, that's not it. They have just given me like some newspaper in Korea, I think. That is not the Daily Sun I'm looking for. Let me see. Let me just try the Sun newspaper. Oh, that worked. So, wow. Okay. Oh boy, you open this up and all kind of stuff jumps out at you. Uh, oh no, that looks like something Prince William would use. Oh my goodness. This is, yeah, I was about to say, what kind of paper is this? But yeah, this is the Sun. That looked like something that Prince William would use. Arthur Edwards, Harry's vicious attacks on Camilla could not be forgiven by King Charles. Really, old man? Really? Really? And you guys know Arthur Edwards is, well, let me put it to you like this. If he was small enough, Camilla would carry him around in her brassiere. Okay? If he was small enough, Camilla would carry him around in her bosoms because that's how close they are. Oh boy. You know what? This is an all out attack. Pierce Morgan has something to say. It says Frogmore eviction shows King Charles has drawn a line with Harry. This is planned. This really is planned. This is planned and orchestrated. I do believe that they yeah. You know what? I'm so sorry. I don't see any Frogmore photos. And I'll have to try to take a look later, but interesting. I did see some I've never seen before, but thank you so much, Legs. I could not find them. Let me see. But oh, thank you so much for the super chat. It's from a different angle. The person is farther. Who are they letting on the estate? Clearly, it's a leak. Oh, excuse me. I am guessing that we will get update pictures from the inside of the house. I've seen a few that I haven't seen before, like an interview with Eugenie. So, yeah, I have no doubt. As a matter of fact, once the Sussexes are, cleared out of that place, lock, stock, and barrel, no doubt they're going to go through that place like it's some kind of crime scene and describe every little inane detail over and over and over again. Dorothy Ross, how dare you assume that I look at the Daily Mail? I've never. Okay, yes, I know where it is. How dare you assume that I've actually ever looked at the Daily Mail within the past 10 minutes? I wouldn't touch that rag, but I do actually see it online sometimes. Okay, I see Harry in the kitchen, look like he's eating a yogurt. I do see that angle of the house that I showed earlier with the big chimney. Okay, oh, I see the picture from far away. Yes, I see it. Wait a minute, Dorothy. How did you see this? Surely you haven't been looking at the Daily Mail, have you? I am just shocked. I'm outraged. Okay, I've seen the kitchen photo before. That one. That one. Okay. Oh, and I saved that one the other day. Uh-huh. Wow. Okay, so that one from far away, that is the first time I've seen that one. And that does seem as though someone would have been let on the property to take that photo. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that, you guys. For the purposes of research, I have to make sure that I stay abreast of these things. Okay, so that's that. Oh man. Okay, so let's see. And then, of course, describe the rest of your life in 5 words. Describe the rest of your life in 5 words. Harry said freedom, happiness, clarity, space, love. Care to take a dig at what any of those mean? So, freedom from the royal family, happiness for the first time in his life, he's not part of the royal family. Clarity, he can see clearly how awful that royal family is. Space, he's away from that royal family. And love, um, that's of course his family, Megan, the children, Doria. Now he has finally experienced true love, true family, that he lost so many years ago when his mother died tragically in that tunnel in Paris, and dare I say, mysteriously died tragically in that tunnel in Paris. So, let's see. Dorothy says, I used to work for the Scottish Daily Record. First job I ever had after school. Really? That's interesting. Very cool. Carol Lund, thank you so much for being a new member, or I'm sorry, becoming a new member of Royal Sussex. And happy Wednesday to you. Thank you very much for that. Wow, a new member. All right, you guys, let's move on to this. Whoa, I love the nightlife. I got to boogie on the disco ride. Yeah. Oh, I love the nightlife. I got to boogie on the disco ride. Oh, yeah. Delba says, actually, I don't know what Delba said, but I bet you it was interesting. Well, thank you so much for your comment, Delba. Let me see. I could take a look at that. C'est Monseigneur et son épouse de mattress. That must be Camilla. If she's calling somebody a mattress, that probably means Camilla. Vont près les pay casses. Thank you so much, Delba Types. And yes, I agree with you. Camilla is just like an old mattress, worn, threadbare, faded old matrice. That's exactly what she is. Thank you so much. All right. So I told you guys my French it has improved dramatically. It is très magnifique, right? Yes, my French is magnifique. Okay. And so anyway, Megan has Megan has stepped out on the town. What a beautiful photo. Now, you guys, I'm always concerned about any type of paparazzi photo. Well, I don't think this was Paps. I think this was just some people that happened to be out at dinner at this restaurant and was quite surprised. Um, as we say in Italy, bravissimo, bravissimo. Thank you. Yeah, so anyway, very, very chic, elegant, casual yet smart. I mean, just look at Megan. So okay, that's what I thought. Oh, mistress. Matress is mistress. Oh well, I mean, mistress of the mattress, right? Woo! Okay. See, I was close. Thank you so much, YM Droid. I knew I was close. Let's see. Leg says Baron page 6 has a video of them coming and going. Really? Are you serious? Of for the restaurant, huh? Okay. Uh-oh. So that means somebody then sold the video. Um, Actually, no, right. For real though. For real. I have never ever went on to page 6, but for the purposes of research, I will check it out. Reluctantly, I will check it out just for the purposes of research. Not that I have any fondness for images and ill-gotten gains and etc. etc. But oh, interesting. Wow. By the way, you guys, if you guys hear that Madonna, the singer Madonna, if you hear that she is in need of a hip replacement, have you guys seen her new boyfriend? She got herself a, oh wow, this is an angle of Frogmore I've never seen before. My goodness. You guys, this must be a really big story, bigger than I thought. Yeah, so if you guys hear that Madonna needs a hip replacement, oh, I see the video. I see it. Not that I condone anybody going to page 6. You really should not. It doesn't look any different from the photos, I promise you. So we're not trying to give any type of clicks to page 6. It is so brief. They're out the car. They're in the restaurant. The photos actually make it seem like it was longer than. Okay, so I'm off of page 6 for now. Okay, so Myra, how dare you? I'm doing that for research purposes, so no one else has to. That's all. And since I have thank you, Kim Peaches. Since I have done the research, no one else has to. That's all. I just for research purposes. That's it. And I'll never look at it again, ever. Okay, so then there's that. These are actually very pretty though. Something about the Sussexes and rain always looks so enchanting. And then there's this one. They're going into the restaurant. I'm just glad that they're out having fun. And yes, this is somewhat voyeuristic, but I'm glad they went out. I'm glad that they felt good enough about things to go out and have fun and to be like regular everyday people. Oh yeah, no clicks on page 6. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Yes, I'm a lyricist, don't you know? And I don't even know when I have created a song. Um, and then this is the last of it. But yeah, so that was the Sussexes' big night out. Megan's smiling as usual. And you know what I love? Harry actually, did you look at that? Did you see Harry left with a bit of a smile on his face? I mean, the soldier eventually showed his face right there in the middle, but Harry's smiling. He had a good time. They are happy. They're home. Their lives are thriving. Um, life is good. Life is good. So, who cares about Frogmore? Live your best life, Harry and Meghan. That's all we ever wanted for you. Uh, yeah, so now they can stop with that. Now they can stop. Okay. And then there's this. So there's those skinny pants that she had on. Apparently, those are one of her favorite pairs of skinny pants, as you can see here. There's a better view here or there. Well, if you take a look, it seems as though she has worn those before, and some eagle-eyed squatty decided to put together the a few photos, and thank you to the squatty that put those out there. So I'm sharing them with you. Love, love, love it. Though, Megan, with your very minimal amount of makeup. Let's see. Kathy Rose Lou, thank you. Kathy Rose Lou, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Oh, you guys, I still have Church Nelly. What's going on? Watch Slim and Dim wear skinny pants. Slim and Dim. Hey, Miss Fletcher. Thank you for being here. And Jael, hello, Jael Bolinder. Leather is so comfortable. I love her look. Yes, it is chic, elegant. Okay, you guys, let me. Oh gosh, I hate to do this, but last night, I. Well, anyway, Paul Burrell hits back at angry and privileged Prince Harry as he tells TV hosts he doesn't recognize the young man I see today after Duke of Sussex accused Diana's ex-butler of milking her death for money. Well, in his book, Harry accused Mr. Burrell of milking his mother's death for money. Actually, he never said Paul Burrell. He said Mummy's butler. And that's what he's mad about, is because he referred to him exactly what he is. The help. You are the help. You're not a person. You're a help. You are the help. Even if you didn't work for the family, you're still not a person. You're just there. So the ex-butler hit back today on Australian television, of course, saying Harry is not the boy I knew. He called him an angry, petulant, privileged prince, constantly blaming others. Well, okay, you guys, let's dissect this. Of course, Paul Burrell had to say this. Otherwise, Australian television was not going to pay him. And that's the point, isn't it? Isn't that why you showed up on Australian television? Because you can trade payments for nasty comments, allegedly. I mean, that's why you're there. That's the whole reason of going on Australian television, is so that you can make some money. They make money on Australian television. But if you're going to make money, you have to tell them what they want to hear. And so Paul Burrell, if you notice, has been absent from American television for a very long time. I'll explain that later. But there's not much of a market for him outside of the you know, the British television and Australian television. So he has to say these things. He's in a tight position, no pun intended. He's in a tight position and he needs money. Paul Burrell says Prince Harry and Meghan Markle should be stripped of their titles. He said that in December of 2022. New York Post, which is also what a Murdoch paper. It's not an American newspaper anymore. It has foreign ownership. It may as well be the Daily Mail. Diana's ex-butler claims Meghan and Harry should lose royal titles as couple arrives in New York City. He said that in December of 2022. Okay, now let's move over to the right. Paul Burrell blasts Prince Harry as he claims Duke had forgotten what loyalty is. Now, you guys, thank you, Georgia Walker. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. Georgia Walker says Paul Burrell is projecting as usual. He needs money for his new husband. Woo! Okay. It's like this. Paul Burrell has been trading on his position. Oh gosh, that sounds wicked, but probably true. He's been trading on his position, his former position, his past position of having been a royal servant. And so he's in a bit of a twist because Harry refused to name him in the book. As far as we know, Mummy's butler could have been anybody. And as soon as he found out that he was not named directly, because if Harry would have said something bad about him or something good about him, it wouldn't matter. Paul Burrell needed Harry to quote him or mention him in any way possible so that he can monetize that in the future. And Harry, quite aware of this, decided to avoid saying his name and just referred to him as Mummy's butler. And that pissed him off. I mean, he was pissed to the height of festivity because Harry refused to say his name. And so whatever money he's making right now, he's making less than he could make because Harry, you know, he's supposed to be the dumb one, right? Right? Isn't that it? Harry is supposed to be the one who is missing a screw or has a screw loose or something like that. Well, he can't be too dumb because he has enough sense not to say your name. So you're not going to make any direct money. You're not going to open up that book and find that you have been quoted directly in any way whatsoever. The help could be anybody. But he did not mention Paul's name. And he is hot about that. And since his name wasn't mentioned, he decided, okay, if you won't say my name, I guess I'm going to have to take care of things on my own. So I'm not saying that he isn't suffering from some illness. I'm just saying that that illness, coupled with not being mentioned in the book, has given him a reason to be on television. I mean, there's no part of his life that he will not monetize because he has been bitten by the bug. Whatever he can get, he will get it. If he has to tell you anything, there's nothing so gross that he is not going to put it out there. And so I can appreciate him having issues now. But let me tell you what another one of his issues is. One of his issues is the fact that he also has children from his first marriage or possibly his only marriage, and he has to sustain his lifestyle. And he's also his children have a certain acquired lifestyle because of daddy's big mouth. Everybody is living high on the hog in that family. So one can only assume that the money goes a long way, paying for education, paying for whatever. This man needs money desperately. And when he heard Harry had a book coming out, he allegedly, supposedly, and possibly thought, oh my God, payday, payday. How could he possibly have a book and I'm not mentioned? Well, guess what? 400 pages, and there's not a Paul Burrell to be found anywhere. No place do you find Paul Burrell in Harry's book. The only thing you hear about is some crazy servant, a butler, a butler. So unless your name is Butler, that's right, that's right. Mummy's Butler, that is his name. Unless your name is Mummy's Butler, then you're not acknowledged in that book, oh man. So right here, let me show you how crass and how nasty Paul Burrell can be. Burrell, who was a servant for the royal family for several years, added that the Princess of Wales would have approved of Harry's fiancée. Can you believe that? Mummy's butler said that she would have approved of my fiancée. That's what Paul Burrell said, especially when he was halted, when he was blocked at the entrance of Windsor Castle on the day of the Sussex wedding. Now, he was dressed up with a pink necktie, a very sporty looking jacket, and I don't know who that action figure is over his shoulder. Now, that may be one of his kids. I don't know. But the young man over his shoulder doesn't seem like he's dressed up for a wedding. It seems like someone you may have met at the club last night. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying that looks like somebody you met at a club and they just didn't have a chance to go home and change before you say, duh, there's a wedding today. Would you like to go? I don't know. I don't know who the young man is to him. It could be one of his kids. It could be one of his kids. But, and you know, maybe they're not even together, even though the guy is standing kind of close, but maybe they're not even together. So nobody's saying that that is some man that he just met somewhere that has a daddy complex. I'm just saying, I don't know who he is. I don't know. So anyway, Paul Burrell used to change Prince Harry's nappies, diapers for you in the U.S., but he doesn't expect that Harry will be enough. I mean, that will be enough to get him invited to the royal wedding of the year. Former butler Paul Burrell hinted he's not expected an invite to the royal wedding. His remarks refer to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's big day in May. He was recently pressed about the guest list on an Australian, oh, there goes Australia again, on an Australian radio show. Okay, where did I leave off? A radio station. On Monday, Mr. Burrell joined Australia. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. Okay, so that caption at the top does not go with the photo below. But there you can see again, Princess Diana's butler stopped by security at royal wedding. Now, you know what? You know what? That's a straight up Samantha. That's a little Samantha stunt right there. I'm just going to show up and we'll see what happens. Princess Diana's butler, Paul Burrell, looked stunned as he stopped by security at Saturday's royal wedding. Have you no decency? Have you no self-respect? He was snapped getting accosted by officers in high visibility, high vis jackets in a private area of Windsor Castle, close to where Prince Harry will wed Meghan Markle this morning. Burrell, dressed a smart gray wedding suit and pink tie, was later spotted outside the chapel. He was said, I'm sorry, a source that is said, Paul is doing some media work for a U.S. broadcaster, so he arrived at the media tent. A runner came out and he went in. He wasn't stopped. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know how likely it is that he was doing something for an American television station. And I'm going to God, his head is big. Do you see that? Look at the size of his head. Look at the size of his head. In comparison to the rest of the people, look at that. And it's not just from, good God, that man's got, it's huge. It's huge. How does he not fall over? What is keeping him from tipping over? Good God, he's got a big head. I'm sorry, you guys. God, that was scary. Princess Diana's butler turned away at Meghan and Harry's royal wedding. Princess Diana's former butler has been pictured appearing to be turned away from the royal wedding in a shock-heated exchange. So he went to the wedding claiming that he was working for an American television news agency. However, the people at the wedding and the person that he may have met last night at a club, I don't know who the man in the black t-shirt is, doesn't look like anything you would wear to a wedding. But that person standing close to him with the smoky sunglasses that looked like he just met him at the club and told him, I have a royal wedding to go to. Would you like to come? Actually, you guys, I think that guy is probably security. I don't think he's with Paul Burrell. But anyway, let's see. So Paul Burrell, who Diana famously called her rock, has been spotted allegedly trying to gain access to a part of Windsor Castle. The 59-year-old appeared to be locked in a heated exchange with security officers just hours before the royal wedding begins. An officer in an orange high-vis jacket can be seen holding a handout to stop the fuming-looking Mr. Burrell from walking past. Royal wedding live. Here comes the bride. Meghan Markle leaves hotel on her. So when Meghan was leaving the hotel, Paul Burrell was literally trying to finagle his way in. Can you guys believe that? I'm telling you, Google this for yourself. This is the level of what he would stoop to. This is the person who is morally outraged with Prince Harry, the man who tried to crash the wedding, knowing Harry don't want to have anything to do with him. And if you guys read Spare, then you know Harry would have had a fit if he saw that big, gigantic head coming around the corner. Could you imagine that? You getting ready to get married to the love of your life, and here comes that big, giant head turning the corner like a city bus. I mean, that head is like a bus. You know how the bus has so much in front of the wheels? That's how his head is. His head reaches the corner before the front wheels, right? So, well, you know what I mean. The bumpers of the bus and everything get to the corner long before the first set of wheels. Well, that's how his head is. So could you imagine Harry getting ready to get married, and all of a sudden, here come that big giant head turning the corner like a double-decker bus. You know, Harry would probably say, what the, oh my God, that big giant head though. I'm so confused. What am I looking at? Katie V, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Wednesday to you. But that head is confusing for so many reasons. It's just huge. It is huge. Oh boy. Well, he's all out there now. He's all out there. He was, he had the nerves to say it was the queen that told him to get married. I'm sure a queen told him to get married, but it probably wasn't the queen. So he did get married. He did have children, but that didn't last that long because, like everything else in his life, all was not what it appeared to be. So Princess Diana's butler, Paul Burrell, looked stunned as he was stopped by security. Saturday's royal wedding, he was snapped getting accosted by officers in high-vis jackets. Did I read that one already? Was doing some media work. Oh, yeah, media, my behind. Oh, yeah, there it is. Reveal how Prince Charles dramatically tried to stop court case of Diana's butler, Paul Burrell, threatened to humiliate the royals. So anyway, that queen got some dirt on that family. You hear me? Paul Burrell has a lot of dirt on that family. And so rather than go through a nasty court case where Paul Burrell had been accused of stealing over 300 items that belonged to Princess Diana, they said the queen recalled a conversation that she had where she asked him to hold on to a few items. Well, I'm sure that could have possibly happened, but I'm sure the queen had no idea that those few items included her underwear or knickers, her handkerchiefs, or her writing desk, her purple Versace gown. I'm sure the queen didn't say, Paul, 1992. And Paul Burrell said, yeah. I know, Your Majesty. What is it? Oh, Paul, can you please hold on to the purple Versace gown? Perhaps I'll wear it to the next opening of the Parliament. But anyway, 1992. Oh, man. Well, I'm pretty sure that the queen did not ask him to hang on to the Versace gown or anything else. He was up all night. Now, imagine this, Princess Diana lying in state in Kensington Palace, right? And Paul Burrell is back and forth all night. The security said that they thought it was rather strange given the hour that Paul Burrell was back and forth at the Kensington Palace. Well, he claims that he was just told that he had some things to do for the family. Well, whose family? Her family or your family or what? Which family are you doing something for? But he literally picked the place clean, and then whatever period of time later, the police went to the house where he had all of these belongings. All of that stuff was property of Harry and his brother, and he took it. Now, the police would not have raided his house where he lived with his wife and children if there was not a good reason to do so. But they raided the house because he had things that did not belong to him. They said it was stuff in the attic, in the cupboards, in the closets, under the couch cushions. It was stuff everywhere. All of Princess Diana's stuff. Could you imagine having 300 items that belong to another person? That would probably fill up your whole living room. And he took it. Now, to be fair, I have to say this for legal reasons, for the lawyers listening. He hasn't been convicted of anything. The Queen could not be called witness, so that means if her name was brought up, the case was closed. And that's exactly what happened. So it doesn't say that nothing wrong happened. It just says that he was not, um, convicted of anything. So he walked free. And with that, all of the family secrets that he is aware of gets to stay very secret. So there was a time when he was somewhat complimentary to Harry, not enough, but somewhat. But take a look at this. This man has gone from being the corgi walker. There he is carrying one of the queen's corgis, looking none too happy, right? And then fast forward to Diana died, and look at him. He never had it so good. All it took was from Diana to die, and it was just like he got a winning lottery ticket, and he has been living high on the hog ever since. I mean, right there in that tuxedo, he looks like he's about to host the Emmys, doesn't he? He looks like he's about to host the People's Choice Award. I mean, this guy is doing okay for himself, ain't he? He went from comforting corgis to being a headliner, traveling the world, all because Princess Diana died tragically in that that tunnel in Paris, and he's never had it so good. It almost makes you sick to look at it. Look at him smiling and beaming, and then went to Turkey and got his teeth bonded for a low, low price. Yeah. Well, that gives you an idea of the advantages of being a royal servant with a big mouth. And if you take a look here, there's not much difference between his life and that of the Duke of Windsor. I mean, look at him. He went from being a servant like poor Sydney walking those pugs to being a headliner in a tuxedo like he's the Duke of Windsor. This guy lives like the Duke of Windsor. He has more than one home. How Prince Charles dramatically tried to stop. Oh, you know what? I did that one already, didn't I? Yeah, I did that one already. So there you go. Police found hordes of items belonging to Princess Diana at her butler's home. Did you hear that? Butler's home. Paul Burrell was later accused of stealing 310 items together worth 4.5 million pounds. 4.5 million pounds was stolen. He was accused of stealing, I have to say accused. He was accused of stealing 4.5 million pounds of items that belonged to Princess Diana. That's a lot of stuff. A writing desk? How do you put a writing desk in your coat pocket and walk out of Kensington Palace? They said the back of his car was dragging the ground. I mean, Princess Diana is dead, and he's riding down the street with sparks flying out of the back of his car for all the stuff he just loaded in the boot of his car. 11 days into the trial, the Queen had a recollection. Oh, God. The Queen had a recollection 11 days after the start of the trial. The Queen had a recollection proving Burrell's innocence. I wonder what it was. I'm pretty sure she said, 1992, a year which I should look back upon with undiluted pleasure. It was a yes, Your Majesty. What about Paul Burrell? I asked him to hold on to a couple of items so that he never has to tell the truth about my son. Okay. Thank you, Your Highness. Did you know that I was a mechanic during the war? Yes, Your Highness. You told us that you were a mechanic during the war. You've told us several thousand times. Okay. All right. Thank you, Your Highness. Sherry Curley says, Baron, who is to say Paul Burrell, who is telling Charles of Diana's move, Remember in the scene of the something when Princess Diana asked Varel, he could have been sharing information about Diana. Well, I mean, he worked, I believe he knew Charles before he knew Diana. And the only reason why he worked for Diana is because with all of the secrets he knew, Charles did not want him around. So when they split, he stayed with Diana and Charles just hired somebody else. But if you guys know anything about the situation, let me tell you, somebody had to facilitate the meetings of Charles with his companions. I'm sure it was more than Camilla. And of course, later on, when Diana started dating, he was there for that. So he had access to everything. He knows a lot. But this is the thing, though, you guys. He may have known Harry up until the point Harry was what, 12, 13 years old. And guess what happened after that? Diana died. Harry was no longer living with Paul Burrell. Paul Burrell was not around Harry that much. As a matter of fact, considering that the custody of the two boys was divided between two households, and three if you count the Queen, then how much time do you think Paul Burrell actually spent around Harry? Not a lot. Harry is the kid that he knew, not the man that we know. So this whole thing about how well he knows Harry, none of that makes any sense. When Diana died, Harry's whole world changed. Harry as a person changed, and not necessarily for the better, but everything changed. So Harry went through all of those terrible years as a teenager struggling with grief. He was nowhere around for that. Whatever he says, he was nowhere around for that. So he is making up stuff as he goes along. He doesn't really know Harry. He knew that kid, but he doesn't know Harry, the teenager. And he certainly has no clue about Harry, the adult. He doesn't know anything but what he reads. He knows about as much about Harry as anybody else. Harry will let you know about Harry, not Paul Burrell. Paul Burrell had access to his mom. Paul Burrell may have spent the occasional time with him and his royal protection officers, who were always nearby when he was a child. Okay. And what else? I'm sure Harry spent more time with his royal protection officers than spending time around Paul Burrell. Whatever he says. I mean, think about it. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. Harry's life changed. Everything changed. And the teenager and the adult man is somebody he doesn't know. Just like Harry didn't know him. Do you think Harry had any idea that Mummy's butler was going to go and clean out the house? Huh? Did he know that Mummy's butler was going to take her underwear, her bras, her gowns, and even her what do you call it? Her handkerchiefs? I don't think he had any idea that was going to happen, but it did. So the same way Harry couldn't have predicted that the Queen allegedly told him to take all of Diana's stuff to your house, all 5 million pounds worth. I'm pretty sure Harry had no idea that was coming, just like Paul Burrell don't know anything about Harry. He knows a child. That child is grown up. That child went through an awful change when his mother died. How much knowledge could you possibly have? You may know how the workings of the royal household, but you don't know Harry. TR Sirug, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Can Diana's statue mend royal rift? How would you know? Can those pajamas ever look like a real shirt? I don't know. If you don't know if that shirt is pajamas or not, how could you know if that statue is going to end a royal rift? Next. Paul Burrell says the Crown portrayal of Prince Charles' cruelty to Diana is accurate. Okay. Next. Paul Burrell says Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's book claims are accurate. Princess Diana's former butler hopes Harry and Prince William resolve their differences. Paul Burrell addresses claims about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry on Good Morning Britain today, July 27th. Well, isn't that interesting? So when we first heard about a book deal, when was that? Was it 2020? So Paul Burrell says Princess Diana, former butler, hopes Harry's and Prince William resolves their differences. Paul Burrell says Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's book claims are accurate. Their book claims are accurate? They were accurate until what? Until he found out that his name wasn't in it. And as soon as he found out that his name wasn't in the book, now we see what happened. What happened when he found out his name wasn't in the book? Let me see. I'll tell you what happened when he found out his name wasn't in the book. Paul Burrell hits back in anger. Hits back at angry and privileged Prince Harry as he tells TV hosts he doesn't recognize the young man I see today after Duke of Sussex accused Diana's ex-butler of milking her death for money. So when his name wasn't in the book, isn't that weird? July of 2020, everything in that book was just as accurate and true and justifiable. But as soon as that old queen found out that his name wasn't in that book, then all of a sudden, Prince Harry, he don't recognize him. He's cruel, he's mean, he's this, he's that. Isn't that interesting how that works out? All of a sudden, the book is not accurate. Before it came out, he had plenty to say. Oh yeah, and here, and now that the book is out and he see his name is not in it, now all of a sudden there's something wrong with the book. Girl, bye. Okay. Royal butler stole Diana's clothes, 3:30 a.m. palace visit. So this is a little thing that I told you I was on the internet just looking through stuff. The former royal butler Paul Burrell made a pre-dawn trip to Kensington Palace shortly after the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, to take away some of her clothes and valuables, the Old Bailey was told yesterday. Mr. Burrell, who is accused of amassing more than 300 items belonging to the princess, the Prince of Wales, and Prince William, is seen emerging from an alleyway at 3:30 a.m. shortly after her death, carrying 2 evening dresses and a mahogany box. He had reversed his Ford Escort close to an entrance of the luxury apartment the prosecution alleged. So shortly after, wait, where is that at? He was seen emerging from an alleyway at 3:30 a.m. shortly after her death. So the night that she died, they accused him of cleaning out the house. And this is the person who says, where is it at? This is the person that says, right here. Doesn't recognize the young man I see today. You don't recognize Harry. Well, I tell you what, anybody with a head that doggone big should not be trying to sneak around at 3:30 a.m. How did you think that big, gigantic, massive bulbous head of yours was going was going to escape detection. How did you think that that big, massive melon was going to escape detection? Whether it was 3:30 a.m. and certainly not 3:30 p.m. But how did you think that you were going to emerge from an alley, allegedly, at 3:30 a.m. with that big, massive head and nobody was going to notice? I mean, I could imagine the security. Oi, oi, mate. Um, that's an awfully large head you have there. Oh, and what are you doing with Princess Diana's Versace gown? Oh, the Queen asked me to take it. I mean, just how do you escape detection? I mean, that head. It's like at 3:30 a.m. Would you expect to see a London double-decker bus coming out of the alley? Because I wouldn't. At 3:30 a.m., I wouldn't expect any bus to come emerging from the alley. But yet here comes all of that face and jowl and nose and chin and forehead emerging from the alley at 3:30 a.m. and he thinks nobody is going to notice. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. And then of course, so Paul, uh, tell me what's going on with you today, Paul. And then of course he says blah blah blah. I don't recognize Harry anymore. And but take a look at this. Look at this. Paul Burrell slinks back to Britain after being shunned in U.S. Diana's former butler is living alone about his living alone above his flower shop. So there's the flower shop on the bottom left. There's his home in Florida at the top left, and there's his home in Somethingshire on the top right. All of this was paid for because Princess Diana died tragically and mysteriously in a tunnel in Paris. That's how he has all this stuff. Do you think Paul Burrell, the pooper scooper, corgi walking servant, Mummy's butler, would have possibly have ever owned a house in Florida, a flower shop, or even that grade two listed house on the upper right? Do you think he would have owned any of that stuff if it wasn't for Princess Diana? Although he refuses to be drawn on whether he has split from wife Maria, who is thought to still be in the U.S., he cut a lonely figure watering plants outside the shop. Well, that was his wife's name until he had some revelation. Oh, I think I'm gay. So he got married to his wife, but he said, and I remember, he said that even Diana knew he was gay. I'm like, what? Every queen from here to Harlem knew you were gay. Even the queen knew he was gay. That's why the queen said, why don't you get married? Because she knew you were gay. Everybody knew you were gay. But he maintained this clever ruse of his life and his lifestyles of various types. Okay, whatever, be you, boo. Burrell, who worked for Diana for 10 years until her death in 1997, moved to the United States in 2005 following the success of his book, A Royal Duty. He attracted some criticism for shamelessly milking his association with the princess. Now, okay, let me go back here because that article is different from this article, which is a recent article. Notice the word milking. So that's not the first time that someone accused him of milking Princess Diana's death. As a matter of fact, you can see it here in black and white that even back in those days, he was accused of milking the circumstances of Princess Diana's death. Let me see. With his, milking his association with the princess. And struggled to restore his reputation after being acquitted in 2002 of stealing from Diana's estate, followed by a shambolic appearance at her inquest. Let me see. Last year, his public profile was dented further by tabloid newspaper claimed that a 25-year marriage to Maria was a sham and he regularly picked up gay men for sex. Now, that's the newspaper article. I'm not saying that that was in one of the various tabloids. Although Burrell has a £165,000 a year licensing deal with two major furniture companies in the U.S., who used his name to brand a range of upmarket royal pieces, the rest of his foreign ventures appear to have stalled. And why did they stall? Because people realized that he was, or should I say, that he had been accused of milking Diana's death. It seems Americans have lost interest in his book signings and tea parties, which saw the former servant charge large fees to talk about his closeness to the Queen and Diana, as well as demonstrating the art of pouring a proper cup of tea, English cuppa. All right. And his range of Royal Butler wines was dropped by a supermarket chain. Ooh, that's bad when a supermarket drop you because of poor sales. While plans to use his royal connections to sell jewelry, chinaware, and household goods never materialized, the website through which he sells his monogram teddies, oh God, not teddy bears again, teacups, and other tat has not been updated for almost 12 years. Almost 12 years. Following his appearance at the inquest, Burrell, who was later caught on tape bragging about lying to the coroner by newspaper journalists, was also dropped as a royal consultant by U.S. television stations. Now, see what I told you? Didn't I tell you that? U.S. televisions, you don't see him on television over here because once they got his number, they had no use for him. They have no use for him. A source at ABC said, "We would never use Burrell again. He's just too unreliable." Did you all hear that? We will never use Burrell again. He's just too unreliable. So this is why you never see him on American television. Tell me, ITV Lorraine viewers filming as Diana's butler makes Harry's book all about himself. Can you believe that? Not everyone was too happy that Princess Diana's former butler, Paul Burrell, appeared on Lorraine earlier today to discuss Prince Harry's latest bombshell. There we go with bombshell. But even Lorraine, and you know that's a low bar. Anytime your stuff is too low for Lorraine, that's a pretty low bar because Lorraine got all kind of ridiculous stuff on her show. His show was too. I mean, his conversation was too low for the Lorraine viewers. Now that's a low bar. Anytime you cannot hack the Lorraine show, then that means you have reached an all-time low. So if you can't make it on Lorraine, where can you make it? Certainly not American television. ITV's Lorraine viewers fuming as Diana's butler makes Harry's book all about himself. Not everyone. Oh man! And look at Lorraine. Look at that. You know, I was wondering what she was hiding up under them bangs. Sister looking kind of rough, ain't she? So tell me, Paul Burrell, did you ever wonder whatever happened to Russell Meyer's other ear? Does Russell Meyer has more than one ear? I've never been able to find his other ear. Paul Burrell, have you ever seen Russell Meyer's other ear? So tell me, do you ever watch Russell Myers? So, Paul, what is your dress size, Paul Burrell? Paul Burrell, tell me, what is your dress size? Be a wee bit of a lass and tell me what your dress size is. Paul Burrell, have you ever measured your head? I was just sitting here wondering, you have a wee bit of a large cranial. Have you ever measured your head, Paul Burrell? Oh Lord. Okay. Paul Burrell hits back at angry and privileged. Oh, we already did that one. Over here on the right, Paul Burrell blasts Prince Harry as he claims Duke had forgotten what loyalty is. I think we did that one too. Okay, so and then of course, in all fairness, Paul Burrell wins 5,000 £5,000 that is damages from Max Clifford. The former butler said he hired Clifford to defend him in the press, but instead the PR man faxed details to News of the World. So even Paul Burrell, with all of his shade, was not immune from News of the World. And of course, there's Rebecca Brooks right there. Rebecca Brooks has been known to be one of the shadiest people in all of the tabloid media. So I'm not going to get into her right now, but you probably have heard that name before, Rebecca Brooks. So Princess Diana's butler, Paul Burrell, wins phone hacking damages from Mirror Group newspaper. Princess Diana's butler, Paul Burrell, won damages and an apology from the publisher of the Daily Mirror for phone hacking and press intrusion, which he said harmed his relationship with the late royal. The 64-year-old former aide to Princess of Wales was targeted by journalists within Mirror Group newspaper between 1995 and 2008, thanks to his close relationship with Diana and his subsequent career as a media personality. Burrell, who stood trial in 2002, was acquitted of allegations of stealing some of Diana's possessions. Some, don't you mean over 300 of Diana's possessions? Also blamed media intrusion for great psychological and the breakdown of his. Wait a minute. You're blaming them for the breakdown of your marriage? What, did they tell her something? Did they tell your wife something? Or did she see something in the paper? Anyway, in a statement to the High Court on Tuesday, Burrell announced he had agreed to settle a legal claim that is, against News of the World, publishers of the Daily Mirror. Sunday, let me see. Oh, yeah, Sunday Mirror and the People, after being offered an apology and substantial undisclosed damages. So he's been making money every which direction. I mean, he's been making money. So there you have, I think that was his first book, the #1 bestseller, A Royal Duty, Paul Burrell. Well, I tell you what, the name of the book is perfect, A Royal Duty, because Paul Burrell, if you give him a chance, he'll crap all over you. That's probably why somebody said, why don't you call it A Royal Duty since you're crapping all over everybody? Oh, man. Yeah, just call it the royal duty, a royal duty, since you're crapping all over everybody. Um, uh, what is this, Church Nelly? Oh, oh, you can watch it for free. It looks like. Okay, I like that. Free is always good. Now, is it somebody we should know in here or what? Okay. Uh, Anyway, so that's the couple things that I know about Paul Burrell is that he has had a very colorful life, as you can tell. And they don't want Prince Harry to tell his story, but it's okay for Paul Burrell to make money telling Harry, Diana, and the entire royal family story. Make that make sense. Okay, you guys, trigger alert. She's back. She's back. Just when you thought that she had actually put something stylish together. Well, I don't know if those are culottes or what she's got on, but she's got on the thigh-high boots. She has on more of the houndstooth because that was such a good idea the first time. A turtleneck that seems to be a pale violet color. And another, okay, the coat is okay. I'm going to say the only thing that's a winner is the coat. Everything else is kind of blah. But yeah, she's back. And if you take a look at that mug, oh boy, somebody forgot to airbrush. Somebody forgot to airbrush. Oh man. Somebody at one of the invisible contract news groups forgot to airbrush. As a matter of fact, if you take a look here, um, I don't know if this is a circus act. I see a couple of clowns riding stationary bikes. Not sure I'm dressed for this. Watch Kate beat William at spin class. Oh, okay, that's what it is. It's a spin class. And it looks like Sky News Australia couldn't wait to report it. Now, one of the very eagle-eyed squatties blew up that image from the prior page. You see that? One of the very eagle-eyed squatties blew it up and circled it. I don't know why they circled those two areas on her forehead, and I'm not going to get into it because that ain't none of my business. I'm just minding my business. I'm staying out of it. But for whatever reason, they thought that she should have circles on her forehead. Nothing to do with me. Maybe it's an insect. Church Nelly, you ain't got a lick of sense. No, think again. Let me see. Well, sometimes don't they sew those tracks into your head? Yeah, this has been happening a lot lately. This has been happening a lot lately where they forget to airbrush. I almost feel sorry for it, but I don't. And then right here, you can see Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, latest coffee business. Harry's wife promotes the clever brand, and appears in their video on social media. So it also says the same thing in Spanish there too. So yes, the Duchess of Sussex has been making global news because of the Clever Blend appearance. And right here, you can see yet another image of our Duchess having a cup of Clever Blend with the founder of the company. So very nice. Also, let me see here. Oh, okay. Now, Brexit cost me my dearest friendships and my marriage. I pray Sunak succeeds so as individuals, we as a nation, we can put this evil war behind us. Oh, well, now I didn't say it. I didn't say it, Alicia W. I didn't say it. But other people have been saying that, but I cannot confirm or deny because I wasn't there when those areas, but I don't know. I don't suspect it is. Oh, ouch, my fingers are all cramped up. For some reason, my fingers are locked together. Why is my fingers crossed? But anyway, I can't confirm or deny that. I just know that it is. It is what it is, right? Okay. So, so Sarah Vine seems to think that she, along with everybody else who helped to promote Brexit, she, along with everybody else who helped to stoke the flames of the fear of others, she seems to think that somehow that she has a room to complain about things when she and her newspaper, the Daily Fail, which has been accused of some of the worst when it comes to the mistreatment of Meghan Markle, she seems to think she has room to complain about losing friendships, losing a marriage. I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why she lost friends and may have lost her marriage, but I'm sure there's a lot of reasons, but I don't know if there's really a cause to blame it on Brexit because she seems to be a pretty shady individual anyway. Oh, sorry. So today, James O'Brien laid into her. Do you hear me? James O'Brien laid into Sarah Vine and so many other people for their shadiness where the Brexit is concerned. She has no room to talk. She really has no room to talk and no room to complain because she works for that paper and she has, well, anyway, I'll let you hear James O'Brien.
You are speaking publicly about struggles with your mental health. You deserve respect for your honesty. But if the struggles with your mental health are born of shame and guilt at what you have done and what you have inflicted, then it serves nobody to turn away from the consequences of the things you feel shameful and guilty about. It's the closest some of these people are ever going to come to admitting their shame and their guilt, to speak about the terrible toll that it's taken on them. You heard Brexit hardman Steve Baker do it earlier this week in strange circumstances, but I will stress again, it must be respected when people speak honestly about their mental health. You saw how disgustingly Meghan Markle was treated by some elements of the British media. You must never come down to their level. But neither do you look away from what people like Steve Baker have done to this country. And then I turn your attention back to today's Daily Mail, where Sarah Vine, a key weapon in the Daily Mail's disgusting arsenal of abuse, its depictions of so-called Remainers were as dishonest and as deceitful as they were dangerous. She today dedicates an entire page to asking you to feel sorry for her because of what Brexit has done to her life. Imagine marching behind Paul Dacre into the Brexit battle. Imagine being one of the key elements of the Daily Mail's attack upon normality and truth under Paul Dacre's dismal editorship. Just imagine that. Imagine having your face appearing on the front page of a newspaper that has headlines or front page splashes including the dread phrases, enemies of the people or crush the saboteurs. Have a look at what has happened to some of the people on that side of British politics subsequently, and tell me in what possible circumstances you will accept Sarah Vine's invitation this morning to feel sorry for her. So that's two of them now. That's Brexit hardman Steve Baker and the sort of leading Daily Mail columnist looking at the carnage of the Brexit that they cheered and championed to the point of it unleashing appalling abuse on people dedicated to explaining the truth. And they're now asking for your sympathy. They're asking for your compassion. Brexit cost me friendships and my marriage. I pray Rishi can finally end this uncivil war. A Daily Mail columnist asking for you to display common decency towards her for the consequences of a political decision she spent the last 7 years cheering to the rafters. It's right up there with Steve Baker, expressing really nothing but sympathy for himself in the context of the consequences of what he was key in inflicting upon the population of this country. It's actually, you can tell by my voice, it's actually incredible. I have spent some years extolling the virtues of the following phrase: contempt for the con men, compassion for the conned. One of the maddest moments of my life probably involves standing on a stage in Parliament Square, looking out at a sea, reportedly 1 million, I don't think there was that many, looking at 1 million people and countless banners reflecting that catchphrase back to me. Just this, gob on a stick on the radio, trying to come up with a way of marshalling anger and making sure it was pushed in the right direction. 03456060973 is the number you're going to need. How do we make sure the anger goes in the right direction?
Okay, so you guys pretty much get what he's saying, that she's asking for you to feel sorry for her because of what she and people like her and her paper projected about this fear of others and the need for a Brexit. And I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to feel sorry for her or if I'm supposed to feel sorry for Harvey Firestein, because I promise you, I've never seen the two of them in the same room at the same time. Is it Sarah Vine, or is that Harvey Firestein just having a good laugh at us? I don't know. By the way, all for Sussex X, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Wednesday to you. Thank you so much. So yeah, Sarah Vine or Harvey Firestein, whoever you are, I'm Sarah Vine. Who? Sarah Vine. It would be funny if she really did talk like Harvey Firestein. Could you imagine that? Hi, Sarah. I have to tell you, I'm not a fan of yours. And I also wanted to say, you have a striking resemblance to Harvey Firestein. Who? Harvey Firestein. I don't look like Harvey Firestein. Oh my God, and you sound like him too. Sarah, can you sing that song from Torch Song Trilogy? What song? Love for Sale. With the only sound on the empty street of the heavy tread of the heavy feet that belongs to a lonesome cop, I open shop. Oh, well, I'm not going to sing that. But yeah, Sarah Vine. So where is Megan? She usually's grafted to Harry's side. Well, yeah, this is one of the last nasty things she said about Meghan. Remember when she started that whole thing about Meghan is usually at Harry's side? Where's Meghan? Meghan. Well, now all of a sudden, they want somebody to feel sorry for them because Brexit has cost her friendships and her marriage. Yeah, right. Certain. No, I ain't gonna say that. Okay. Hi, Baron. You're awesome and the most hilarious show on YouTube. While I'm here, since Cambridge Curl has been discontinued, do you think that they'll be premiering a new product, possibly Wells Wave? Sure hope so. Uh, well, this was a message that I got in my inbox on the Twitter. Something about a Wells wave. And I'm just like, Wells wave? Let me explain. As you know, sometimes being a royal princess and taking a helicopter like some people ride the bus or take a taxi means that sometimes your hair and the various tones and textures of extensions refuse to lay down. I mean, suddenly you find your hair and other people's hair is all over the place in your mouth, smacking other people in the face. Your hair is a mess. So not only are you wearing ugly dresses, but then you also find that your hair just won't lay down. And of course, as per usual, today's Royal Sussex is brought to you by Cambridge Co. The no lie Royal Relaxer. Cambridge Co. Be who you are, not who you want to be. Cambridge Co. The no lie Royal Relaxer. Cambridge Co. So if you're conflicted about your genealogy, if sometimes people mistaken you for being someone that you're not, or some kind of person that you're not, there are ways to fix that. And you could just stop trying to straighten things out and just be yourself. Use Cambridge Curl. So keep your curls royally soft with Cambridge Curl. Curls that will make you feel like royalty. Cambridge Curls. The no lie Royal Relaxer. Cambridge Curls. So, also, you will find out that on occasion that not only is your mouth askew, but you may have envy of people in the family like Afro Annie. Sometimes her hair is bigger than anybody else's in the room, but Afro Annie has found a way to manage. And what about that time when you decided cornrows was the way to go? Because you knew that very soon you were going to be lining up for the big job, you wanted to have the right hair. Hair that says to all people, I'm just like you. It also says to people within the Commonwealth, I'm your sister. See? So that's what the Queen used to do. The Queen used to go and get her cornrows and go and get her hair did. She'd go get her hair pulled, and then she was able to look the people in the Commonwealth in the eye. Well, there is something else you can do if you want to look the people in the Commonwealth in the eye. The Queen, on occasion, has gone with the textured wave, and sometimes she's gone with the afro, especially during the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, you can really show you down with it if you get the well waves. It's actually made with lye. Well waves. You don't even have to use a pomade. Well waves. Show the people in the Commonwealth you're down with it. Well waves. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Kate, the Princess of Wales, has decided to live up to her namesake, and she's gone with the well waves. That's right, the whale waves. So now, as a proper Princess of Wales, she is now sporting the whale waves. Yes. So there you go. You asked and you got it. And let me see, I forgot who asked me that. They didn't say it was private, but until they want to identify themselves, I am going to leave it private. But one of the squatties came up with this suggestion, and I thought, you know what? But you know what? We may as well out her and introduce the world to her whale waves. So there you have it, the whale waves. Whale waves! Oh, man. Yep. All right, you guys. And with that, let me see. Yes, I think I'm done. Finally, it only took 3 hours, but there was a lot of material to cover. But yes, there you have it. The whale waves, the Cambridge curl, the Cambridge cornrow. Yeah, so we're done. So please have your last comments prepared. That's right. She got them finger waves. She got her butter whipped. Yep, got them finger waves, Church Nelly. Cosplaying. Well, she's trying to make sure that people in the Commonwealth will respect her. And the only way to do that is with the wax. Oh, man. That's the only way to look the people in the Commonwealth in the eye is with the whale waves. Okay, you guys. So it's been 3 hours. I'm going to make sure that this is under 3 hours. And last word of the day is Cheryl's sister from another mister. There we go. Sounds good to me. And let's see what else. Yes, good night, Elaine Parker. Thank you for staying up. Thank you for staying up, Connie Balmer. And thank you, moderators. Thank you, everyone, for your very generous contributions. Greatly appreciate it. Let me see what else. Good night, Anastasia, Isabella, Cookies and Cream, Marshar, Lydia, Black Queen, Church Nelly. Let me see here. Okay. And with that, thank you to our queens, our real queens, our Queen of Hearts, and our Queen of Everything. And my other favorite queen, Dr. Shola. Dr. Shola. She has a doctorate and she's a queen. Love that. Okay. And thank you so much, you guys. I'm going to cue Ginger Avenger, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but oh well. I will see you guys tomorrow. Cue Ginger Avenger. Cambridge Girl! Oh, thank you, Miss Fletcher. You better believe it, Cookies and Cream. All right, 3 hours, 1 minute, 6 seconds. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Love you.